They're tricky for you to climb into, aren't they, Pip? Was that nice and easy getting in?
No.
Okay, hang on. Okay, hang on. All right, I'm going to find somewhere safe to pull over. I can't really reach it, can I?
No.
God, this is absolutely ridiculous. About 5 years ago, me and my wife purchased this 7-seat SUV. We only had 2 children at the time, but our plan was always to have 4 children. However, by the time even baby number 3 came along, it dawned on us that in the real world, a 7-seat SUV like this did not give us the practicality we hoped it would. And in this video, I'm going to lay out to you the 3 real-world practicality downsides of 7-seat SUVs. The things that if I'd known before I bought this, I wouldn't have bought one. So come on, let's get into it. My name's Ben, and welcome to Dad Cars. Let's get straight into this, right? So the first of 3 things that you need to know about before you buy a 7-seat SUV. And I'm not just going to tell you, I'm going to show you. I'm going to demonstrate each of these 3 things. The first one is perhaps the most obvious, and it's boot space, or rather lack thereof. According to Google, around 85% of families here in the UK consist of families with just 1 or 2 children. So that's, you know, the majority of the market. And obviously the UK is an SUV market. This is what those families want, and this is the level of boot practicality that people with 1 or 2 children, it's become the standard. But if, like me, you're one of the less than 15% who has 3 or more children, a litter of children, look, this is how much boot space we get. So yeah, significantly less. But what does that mean in the real world? Well, to demonstrate that, look, here's my wife's new to her car, is the Range Rover. It's got a very similar boot size to the X5 when the seats are down. So this is genuinely unplanned what is in the back of my wife's daily at the moment, and you can tell it's unplanned because it's so messy. But let's see how much of this I can fit in the back of the 7-seat SUV. Well, for starters, if you've got a double buggy like this, which, come on, if you've got a 7-seater, there's a good chance you will need a double buggy. Now that's not going to fit in. Well, let's instead see if we can do it with a compact single, and then one of the children will just have to learn to be better at walking, I suppose. Everything else on the back of the boot. Right. Squeeze that in. You can tell what time of year this video was filmed. Oh, God. So we're swapping the double buggy for this single. I've managed to get everything from the daily family car boot into here with the 7 seats up. So that's impressive, right? But there's no space for anything else. And look, if I try to take the buggy out, yeah, look, there are certain 7-seat SUVs that are dreadful. Most notably, the Land Rover Discovery Sport. Basically, with the 7 seats up in that car, you could carry a few envelopes in the boot. But we will do it frequently, randomly at the weekend. Oh, look, let's just get the kids' bikes in the car. Let's go out for a walk. But you wouldn't be able to do that with this. You know, you'd have to get a bike rack, and you know, if you plan on going away on holiday, taking all the family with all your luggage for a week, you'd have to get a roof box. Look, it's just things to consider. Think about it. Now, problem number 1, the boot. I knew that before I bought this 7-seat SUV. I just thought, oh, we'll figure it out. You know, we'll just get used to having a small boot. We didn't. It was really annoying. But problem number 2 of 3, which I'm going to show you now, I just didn't consider or realise this until I'd already bought this car. And you're going to want to stick around to problem number 3, because that's when I get all 4 of my children in this car, go out for a drive and show you problem number 3. The problem number 2 is if you intend on using any form of child seats in your 7-seat SUV. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So the first point, which I'll cover quickly because I go on about it all the time on this channel, but even in this whopping great, nearly 2 meters wide SUV, there's only 2 sets of ISOFIX. So effectively, if you've got 2 ISOFIX child seats in here, the middle seat is redundant for anything other than, you know, an emergency or an infrequent trip for someone to sit in there who doesn't need a child seat. So how does your 3rd child get in the back? Well, look, this is what they'll probably show you when you go to a showroom and you're interested in buying a 7-seat SUV. Look, you pull this lever, and it's very impressive. You know, the whole seat there comes forward. This one with the center section, if you go around the other side, it does the same, but just with that seat behind the driver, giving loads of space, look, for somebody to hop in the back. And obviously children will be able to climb in as well. But there's no ISOFIX in these rear seats. And as we know on this channel, children in the UK need to be in some form of child seat until they are 12 years old and or 135 centimetres tall. Leg room in the back, I mean, I'm 5'11", I've got short legs and a long torso, I can fit in here, but I wouldn't want to be in the back here any longer than, you know, a 20-minute trip somewhere. So teenagers as well, once they hit their growth spurt and then they get long legs, they're not going to be happy in the back here. So these will be perfect for your children when they are 135 centimeters. You know, you'll get a little window of time before they hit a growth spurt where they'd be very happy in the back here without a child seat. But look, I'm going to take all 4 of my children out in this 7-seat SUV. So let's get 4 child seats in here. Let's get 2 in the back and 2 in the front. And I'm going to show you the problem. So to give us a fighting chance of this demonstration looking somewhat practical, I've put 2 booster seats in the back for my 2 eldest children, because they should hopefully be able to climb in themselves and then buckle themselves in. But if you needed to get a 5-point harness child seat in there for a younger child, they tend to be a bit more bulkier. Remember, in here there's no Isofix. There are some that have Isofix in the back. I think the X7 does, for example. Right, so I've got all 4 seats in here now. It's just started raining as well, which is nice. But look, here's the big problem I want to point out. So, you know, that clever sort of folding forward mechanism that this seat does so you can access the back seats, well, now it doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work is because more and more modern child seats now come with support legs. I mean, if you are going to be having an infant carrier, you know, a rear-facing baby seat that clicks into a base, chances are it's almost certain to have a support leg. So if you've got child seats in the front here that have got the support legs clicked into the Isofix, you will no longer be able to use that as a method of getting into the back. I mean, look, let's see if I can take the leg up, and then can I use it to sort of? But even that's not really ideal. Look, I can't get it all the way forward because it's hitting the seat in front. Obviously, this middle bench is moved forward slightly so that you can have some form of leg room in the back there. But basically, you could be in a position where to get into the back, you would have to take this child seat out each time, which is just not going to happen in the real world. It's not practical, is it? Ultimately, what you need to do is you need to go and have a look at the car, take the child seats you're going to use, take your children along and have a go at putting them in and using it, getting in and out and seeing if in reality that's something you're going to be happy to do multiple times a day, every day. Manufacturers are responding to this real world problem, you know, this not being practical, and they're coming out with different solutions, different 6-seat and 7-seat SUVs that are arranged in a different way, and we've got several of those coming to this channel. Manufacturers have reached out and they are sending us a press loan car for a week, which we can film some reviews with and make videos on this channel. So if you'd like to see those, please subscribe to this channel. Right, coming in, girls. Yeah, just sorry, sweetie. I know it'd be nice if I could get the youngest in first, but I can't. Can you squeeze in there? Sorry. There we go. Oh, there you go. Wow, that's cool. You got in there. Okay, all right, okay. I know SUVs are quite high up, aren't they? So tricky. So they're tricky for you to climb into, aren't they, Pickle? Right, girls. So was that nice and easy getting in?
No.
Oh, saying rear seat's not locked in position. Right, okay. Very good, girls. There we go. Oh, it's locked in position now. I love 2-door coupe dad cars for me. So coupes with rear seats. And from time to time, whenever, you know, I'll post something on Instagram or on YouTube with me using a 2-door with children. So I always get a few people comment going, oh, I would never use a 2-door with my children, you know, for whatever reason. You know, people like to have a grumble, don't they? But I guess, you know, the theory is that if you needed to get them out, you know, quickly in an emergency situation, if it's only got 2 doors, it's potentially going to be trickier for you to get the children out. But that is obviously even more so the case with, you know, 7-seat SUVs like this, with cars that have got 3 rows. They're right at the very back there, aren't they? And so this is one of the real world points that I want to make. Girls in the back, can one of you just pretend that you've got like an emergency in the back? But can you pretend and say, Daddy, my seatbelt's not right?
My seatbelt's not undone.
You what? Okay, you're not actually done it though, have you? Okay.
No.
No. Okay.
My seatbelt's undone. I can't do it.
Right. Okay. Hang on. Okay. Hang on. All right. Okay. Wait a second, girls. I'm going to find somewhere safe to pull over. Right. Okay. I'm going to pull over here on the side of the road. Parents of young children must know that this happens not every day, but fairly frequently. You know, there's something, maybe they've dropped a toy in the back and they're crying, or yeah, there's an issue with a seatbelt or something like that, and you need to attend to them. Look, I've just pulled over. This is a busy road. If they were right behind me, I'd be able to sort it out. Look, I could lean across. I can reach the seatbelt there. But obviously, because they are right in that third row. All right. Okay, all right, sweet. So I can't really reach it, can I?
No.
So yeah, I guess I'd have to climb up like this and say, okay, yeah, that seatbelt's, yeah, okay, no, yeah, your seatbelt's all fine. You've got it all in correctly. Yeah, you girls did a good job of that. Right, yeah, so there we go. So I'd have to do that. So obviously, look, it's fine. I've done that safely, but it's just another consideration, isn't it? And just before we set off, I want to take this opportunity to say that I'm very happy that manufacturers of these SUVs are giving those 7-seat options. I'm very happy that they do that. I love that parents like us have got these options, and I'd much rather we had these options and didn't have them. The point of this video isn't to badmouth 7-seat SUVs. I'm just highlighting. Look, I bought this expecting that it was going to be the ultimate solution, and oh yeah, God, a massive big family SUV, it's got 7 seats, it's going to be everything we ever possibly need, but it's just not the case. Look, the funny thing is, when I had the Maserati Grand Sport, it was such a TARDIS that the children could get out of the back without even moving the front passenger seat. There was that much space in there. It was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, even though it might not seem that practical, in many ways that Grand Sport, in that regard, is far more practical than this. And I do think the people who comment on my videos sort of saying, oh God, I wouldn't do this or I wouldn't do that. I mean, all that is it's just, parents' anxieties that they feel themselves that they're voicing, I mean, look, a particular real world anxiety of mine, I am petrified of the idea of us having all 4 kids in the car, and then one day, if we're on a smart motorway and we fully broke down with no hard shoulder, and I had to get all 4 children out of the car as quickly as possible and to get to safety. And it's even more stressful when I imagine that scenario with just my wife driving with all 4 kids herself. So that's the thing. If you've got them right in the back, that's going to make that nightmare scenario even more of an anxiety, isn't it? Because it would take you longer to get them all out. Oh, Nissan Qashqai in front, girls. Daddy's favourite car. You can get them in a +2 as well. You can get them in a 7-seater. God, imagine how big the boot is in a 7-seat Qashqai. Look, the solution that's worked for us is that we got an all-in-one multi-mac 4-across seat that can go in that centre row of seats. That's what's worked for us. If you want to find out more about that, I made a whole video about it. There'll be a pop-up now to that video, and I'll link to it at the end, and I'll link in the description below. So if you want to see that, that solved everything for us. It solved the child seat issue, it solved the boot issue, and just getting the children in and out and living with it day to day. And we bought that multi-mac seat and used it in this first. We bought it some time ago. So even though this was a 7-seat, we didn't use those rear seats. And obviously, so that meant that we didn't need a 7-seater, we could just get 5-seaters. That's why we've bought the Range Rover. Now, I'm sure as well there'll be people watching this who do have a 7-seat SUV like this, and they use it successfully with their large family. I would love to invite you to comment below. Please tell us, if you're using a car like this, what solutions have you found to make it so that these types of 7-seat SUVs do work well with your large family. Please comment below, and I think it'll be interesting for people to head to the comment section and read from other real world parents. Because people want SUVs, don't they? People want SUVs because they look cool, and and also like SUVs, you can get amazing engine options with SUVs that you never got with MPVs. And because SUVs are desirable and that's all that anybody wants to buy, MPVs are disappearing, aren't they? Even though I think in actual fact that MPVs are so much more practical, with their sliding doors and things as well. But we'll see that in a second. We're about to park up, and I'll show you another problem that you get with this. But like I indicated earlier on, I'm going to be doing a series of videos on family cars for large families. So yeah, I've got manufacturers that are sending some out to me, and I want to get more on the channel because I know we only represent a small percentage of drivers out there, you know, like under 15%, but yeah, if I don't do it, no one's going to, are they? Right, girls, we found a parking space. Obviously, we can park it here, but quite often, you know, I'm taking you to your clubs or we go to like a busy family event somewhere, the only parking spaces have got other SUVs either side of us. So look, let's park in this one instead, with cars either side. It's not a overly tight space, but let's see how easy it is to get everybody out, shall we? Yeah, you can click, we've stopped now. Right, girls, are you actually be able to just climb out through the front?
Yeah.
Well, that's handy that you're gymnasts, isn't it? I don't think you're flexible gymnasts. You actually all did that excellently. I think you're all experts in climbing out of tight cars. Look, so final thoughts, if you really want to buy that exciting 7-seat SUV and use it with your family, I'm all for it, do it. Honestly, look, I buy the most impractical cars and find a way of making it work with my children. So look, I fully support it. But if, like us, you have 3 or 4 young children, you must watch this video on the Multimac, because you might find that, like us, this is a far better solution and you won't be restricted to just 7-seaters for your next car. Say goodbye, girls.
Bye.